So my wife and I have been reselling now for about 3 years. We started, I believe, in about April of 2023. It is now August 2026, so a little over 3 years we've been selling. Ever since the beginning, we have been everything sellers. So we used to go to flea markets, yard sales. I mean, we still do, but when we started, flea markets, yard sales, thrift stores, all the normal stuff. And we used to just look for everything and anything that we can find to flip online and make a profit. I've been through a bunch of different phases. Like I got into sports cars for a while. I got into toys for a while. Like you can go back in my previous videos on my channel and you can just see all the different transitions and stuff I made throughout my reselling career. I recently started on Whatnot as well. So we've been doing experimenting with storage units. So we've been buying storage units and then we'll go on Whatnot and just auction everything off there. We've been doing that since December, so about 8 months or so. Honestly, that has been going really well for us. But if you've been following me for a while, you always hear me say how much I love clothing. I wish I can just do clothing full time, like 100%. In the back of my mind, that's what I've always wanted to do, but I've always felt limited. Like I didn't want to go all in on clothing because I know a lot of people find clothing boring. I like watching clothing resellers on YouTube. I'll sit there all day and watch like bolo videos and haul videos. I decided to just jump into clothes 100%. This is what I do full time with my wife. We're about 90% resellers, and I do video editing as well. So I video edit for some YouTubers. That's about 10 to 15% of my income. The rest of the 85 to 90 is all reselling. So I decided to just jump in 100% on men's clothing. Since I already know a lot of the brands and I'm just studying more and more every day, I feel like it's a lot more, you can replicate it a lot better than storage units. So say for instance, when I go buy storage units, and in case I didn't say it yet, before I start rambling some more, we're going to go over the thrift haul that I had today. I have these 3 bags right here full of men's clothes that I picked up at a new thrift store that I just discovered. So we're going to go over the thrift haul that I did today. And this is from the perspective of a newer clothing reseller. So you'll learn from like my perspective what I'm looking for as a new clothing reseller, like the brands that I've been studying and stuff like that. But the point that I was going to make is when you buy storage units, like yeah, you do find cool stuff in there, but it's harder to replicate because you find a lot of like one-off stuff. Like let's say in one storage unit, I find a sign like an autographed jersey and it sells really good. The chances of me finding another one of those in a storage unit is really low. I can spend $100 on a storage unit and it's all a risk. You don't know what you're going to find in there. Or I can spend $100 and go to yard sales, flea markets, and thrift stores, and I can handpick the items that I'm looking for that have a high sell-through rate, and I can just flip over that money a lot faster. So right now, you're going to see me at the very beginning of my full-time clothing reselling journey. I've only been listing 2 items a day on eBay as far as clothing items go, because I don't want to start listing like 10 items a day and just stretch myself too thin. I want to make sure I have a backlog of clothing that I can list consistently. So I'm starting with 2 a day. So moving forward, I'll show you like what sold videos, stuff that's selling, how fast it's selling and stuff like that. But if you've been following me for storage unit content, I'm still going to do it. I'm still like, we're still buying storage units. I'm just being a lot more selective on what we buy. And I'll still run those things through Whatnot. So my plan is to buy storage units, sell all that stuff on Whatnot, and then when I go thrifting or sourcing, I'm just looking for clothing only. So I'm going to have both sides of the business running that way. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the haul. I found a brand new thrift store. Mondays and Thursdays, 50% off the entire store. And they have tons of clothing there. The only downside, this is a newer thrift store. The only downside is they don't have AC in there yet. They just have like ceiling fans, and you start sweating in there. It gets really hot, and even the manager was telling me today that people don't go there because of that reason. It gets really hot in there, but I don't mind. I was in there for an hour and a half, more or less, and I found 3 bags full of clothing, which I'm about to show you here in a second. On top of that, the manager said they're going to start doing bins, kind of like the Goodwill bins. They're just going to put a bunch of bins inside the store, fill them up with clothing. Everything in there is going to be $1. And he also said he hasn't advertised this to anybody, but he has what are called Gaylords. If you're not sure what those are, I'll put them here on the screen. They're just big boxes, like big pallets kind of. And he said these are stuffed with unsorted clothing, men's, women's, and kids, and they're only asking 20 bucks. The only downside is I'll have to find like a U-Haul and maybe like a forklift to unload it at home. But for 20 bucks, you figure I find one or two good items in that whole thing, and it pays for the whole crate. So I may do that. I might be more selective on stuff like that because, like I said, I want to handpick my items. That's the reason I'm going less and less on storage units, because I want to do less riskier buys and more selective buys. So let's go ahead and jump into the haul, and I'll show you what I found. All right, we're gonna start with bag number one. Again, all of this is men's clothing, and everything that you see on the tags, I paid 50% off. I did buy a few personal items, and my wife found like a few like toy items. So I'll take those out of the price of what I found for clothing, and I'll let you know what I spent. These were $5.99, so $3, half off. And these are Tommy Bahama shorts. It has a little, the lighting kind of sucks in here. It has a Tommy Bahama logo hit on the back. These are really clean. I'm just going to assume everything is selling, let's just say $20 to $25 on the safe side. I know some of these items are going to sell for a lot more. But again, Tommy Bahama shorts. These are size 36, I believe. 38s. So the bigger the better on these shorts is what you want to look for. So Tommy Bahama, size 38, paid $3 for these. These were a pair of REI pants. I'll try to scoot back a little bit. These are the convertible pants. You can see right here they have the zippers where you can unzip it and turn them into shorts. And I paid $5.99 for these. They didn't have a tag on it when I brought it up to the counter. I think the tag fell off. The manager said $5.99. So $6, half off. No, $5.99 total. That wasn't half off. So $6 total for these. But these are REI size men 2XL. So these should probably sell for closer to like 30 bucks. So that was a nice little find right there. Here's just some toy items that my wife found. Like I said, I'll deduct this from what the total price was. She found those for $3, so $1.50. These Polo Ralph Lauren sweats. These are cool because they have like the little cinch, the little drawstring at the bottom. It does have the Ralph Lauren pony right there. These were $7.99, so $8, half off. So these were $4. These are super clean too. These are really clean. I spent a few minutes on each item before I bought them in the store to just double check everything. Pockets, the waistband, make sure they're not dry rotted, make sure there's no holes and stuff like that on the bottom. These are size 2XL again, so another big size. These should probably sell for somewhere close to like 20 to 25 bucks. These are, what were these? FootJoy. So that's the logo, the brand you want to look out for, or the logo, FJ. This is a golf brand, I believe, and it's also on the back right there. You can see FJ. Hopefully that's focusing. 36-30, not the best inseam. If it was like a 36-34 or something like that, it'd be better, but still, these are really clean. $8 price tag, so I paid $4 for these FootJoys. These are really clean too. Everything works, zipper, buttons. Those probably somewhere around 25 bucks as well. This one I was a little more sketchier on. It is a Travis Matthews. That's the logo. And if you're scanning through clothes really fast, just look for the M. A lot of times all you'll see is like the M on the pocket or something. The only downside to this one, it does have a logo, like a company logo on the sleeve. Some people don't care though. This is a really thick, the material feels really nice. So quarter zip sweater. This one was $10 on this one, so I did pay up for this one, but I'm hoping this will sell somewhere close to like 30 bucks or something like that. It does have pockets as well, which just adds a little bit of more value to it. And on the bottom it says Travis Matthew California design. So I'm just, as a new clothing seller, like newer to clothing, I'm testing stuff for myself in my market, in my store, because I know some people can sell the heck out of like Polo Ralph Lauren, Travis Matthew, Cool, like all that kind of stuff, and then you go try to sell it in your store and it doesn't sell. So the only way for me to test it is to do it in my store. So that's why I'm picking some of this stuff up and just seeing how it moves in my store, and then moving forward I can decide if I want to keep picking up these certain brands. So that was that one. These were pretty cool right here. Corduroy, and these are Tommy Bahamas. It has a little logo in the back there, and these are corduroy Tommy Bahamas. These are size 36. and they were asking $8. Got these for $4 as well. I'm guessing somewhere around $25 as well. If I'm way off on the price when I'm editing this video, I'll go ahead and put the comps up. Like if it only sells for like 15 bucks or something, I'll go ahead and put it up. But I'm just assuming somewhere around like 22, 25 bucks for these. For $4, not a bad pickup if it can move fast. These are similar to those REI pants that I found. These are just the shorts. Now that I think about it, these might have came with the bottom pants, and because I just looked at it right now and there is a zipper on it. So I don't know, you can still wear these on their own, but you can see underneath here there is a zipper. So I don't know how much that's going to hurt the value, to be honest. I didn't even think about it until I saw those other ones I just showed you. But these are size 2XL REI, and I paid $4 for these as well. So now I'm starting to be a little worried about that. But I'll see if these still sell on their own. Even if I get 20 bucks out of these for $4. These, I remember these brand. These might even be Y2K. I think it's pronounced Ruka. It says R. It looks like RVCA. There it is right there as well. And these are corduroy pants as well. These are like blue corduroy. It has a double hitch in the back. You can see on the pockets right there. Has the logos. And these are size 36. It's called Daggers Fit. I know the lighting sucks. I should have got better lighting in here, but you can probably see that. I paid $5 for these. So these will probably sell somewhere around like the $20 to $25 range as well. Again, I'm being a little conservative on a lot of this stuff. More Travis Mathew. I do find a lot of Travis Mathew around here. I'm not sure where the brand originated, but I do find them. This is what I was talking about. So if you're just scanning through the racks and you see that little M right there, that's what you want to look for. Good size, 36. And these were $9, so I paid $4.50 for these. Really clean on these as well. No stains or nothing. All the belt, the little belt loops are all intact and everything still. So $4.50 for these. I'm guessing somewhere around the $22 to $25 range. So these shorts didn't take long at all to sell. I cross-listed these to eBay, Poshmark, Depop, and Vinted. These ended up selling on Poshmark within 24 hours for $25. After all the fees, $19.67, minus the cost of goods, I ended up making about $15.50 on these pair of shorts. I only picked up a bunch of these because they were pretty cheap. It has a flesh pony. I just started learning about these. So if you see, and I'll show you on another Ralph Lauren that I have, the difference. I just learned about these. You see the rider right there, he has like white skin or like flesh color skin. And then the horse is a different color as well, the pony. These are what's considered flesh ponies. And those bring in a little more value. It doesn't add anything crazy, but it does bring more value. This is a size 16.5 by 42. So I'll have to see what that turns out to be as far as size goes. But I only picked this one up because it was cheap. I think that's $3.99 or $5.99. I'll have to check the receipt. But worst case scenario, I paid $3 for this. And this can easily sell for like 20 bucks minimum. So that's one that I picked up there. Here's another FootJoy. Again, there's a logo you want to look out for. These are really clean as well, golf shorts. And I paid $2 for these. They were asking $4. So I paid $2. And these are size 36. So FootJoy, again, somewhere around that same price range. 20, 25 bucks, somewhere around there. Some more Tommy Bahamas. These were cool because these are 80% silk, and then it says rayon from bamboo. These were $1.99, so I paid $1 for these. Tommy Bahamas. These are just plain black shorts, but with that silk material, it should add some value to it. Here's another FootJoy. So FootJoy and Travis Mathew. I don't know if you guys find Travis or FootJoy and Travis Mathew around your area a lot, but I find a bunch of these. This one was $5. I picked this one up because one, it's a big size. This one is a size 2XL. You can see that little dot right there. 2XL, and then it does have a golf course name. So I'm hearing, like the research that I'm doing, is if the FootJoy polos have a golf course on them, it does add value, but you want like the bigger golf courses like Pebble Beach and stuff like that. But this one does have a golf course on the sleeve. And this one, again, was $5. I only picked these up because they were really cheap. They were asking $3, so $1.50 for Levi's. These are 505s, 38.34, and these are just super clean for a dollar. For what did I say? $1.50, and these are like baggier jeans. I don't really pick up the slim fit, only because that's what a lot of people say. Like the slim fit or tight jeans don't really sell well, like the baggier ones do. But I should test that in my own store. But I haven't been. I've just been following their advice and going for the baggier stuff. So $1.50 for a pair of Levi's, excellent condition with a good size. I can easily get $20 at least for that, for $1.50. The cool thing about this store as well, so we're from the Bay Area, California, like the Oakland area, and these owners, they were from California, the same exact area that we were from. We even found a couple shirts and like purses and stuff, like tote bags, with restaurants and stuff from the same exact city that we grew up in, a little tiny town in the East Bay, California, which is pretty cool. That's why I like going there too. We find a lot of Raider stuff, A's stuff. My wife's an A's fan, so she just picked this up for herself. She paid $1.99, half off, so $2, or $1. She paid $1 for that. That was hers. Here's another thing that she found for her. Check these out. I don't know if you can see that. It says Oakland. It's like all embroidered, like a big patch. There's even an A's patch on the bottom. These are really cool. Look at that. So she's gonna keep these. If not, maybe one of my kids. And look, it has a big old A's embroidered patch on there. Size large. Now that I think about it, I wonder if this was like warm-up pants or something. Because look, it even has an A's tag. I'll have to do some research on these. Maybe these were like their training pants or something. That would be crazy, right? If it is, she might not keep these. I might have to snatch them. I'm gonna do some research on these. Those might end up being like team issued or something like that. There's only a couple more pieces. Here's another one that we picked up on the way out. As we were walking to the register, I saw this on the rack. It is one of those embroidered jerseys, and this was only $7, so we paid $3.50 for that. So we're gonna probably give this to one of my kids. And then the last piece that I have, I think this is the last piece. Again, I only picked this one up because it was really cheap. They were asking, it was either $3.99 or $5.99. I can't read their chicken scratch. So worst case scenario, I paid $3 for this one. It's another Ralph Lauren, 17 by 34, 35. And here's a difference on the pony that I was talking about. See, that's just one solid colored pony. So it's not as desirable as a flesh pony. But for $3, I can easily get, I don't know, 18, 20 bucks for this. Maybe more, because it is a big size as well. All the buttons were there and all that, so I did double check all that stuff while I was in the store. And here's a big old long receipt from that store. We ended up paying a total of $81.77 for all the items all together. So let's subtract the stuff that my wife found. So right now, $81.77. She found a couple things, like she likes these. She used to have a lot of these when she was little, so she really likes these little Volkswagen Beetles and stuff whenever she finds them. So this was $1.50, so we'll subtract $1.50 from $81.77. So let's just say we're at $80. And then she found these Legos for $3, so $1.50. So we're at $78.50. This was something else she found, some more toys. $3, so another $1.50. So that brings us to $77. This was personal, $3, so we're at $74 for our clothing. Minus 10. These pants were 10. I don't know if I mentioned that. So $64. And then this was hers as well, $1. So $63 is what we ended up paying. And let me count. I'm not sure exactly how many pieces I got. Let me go ahead and count them so we can do like an average cost of goods. So I ended up finding a total of 15 items, and this was in about an hour and a half or so of sourcing from that store. So that's probably going to be my go-to place because I found a lot of good stuff there, as you can see. So 15 items, $63 total. That brings our cost of goods, if we average it all out, about $4.20 a piece. Again, some things were like $1.50, some things were like 10. So if we average it all out, $4.20, and most of these things should sell for about $25 a piece. I know I was a bit conservative on some of them, so hopefully some of those will bring my overall cost down a little bit, but that's where we're at. 15 items, hour and a half for $63. So let me know down in the comments, what do you think the best piece is that I found in this whole haul? How do you think I did being a new clothing reseller, just the research that I've been doing? This is the type of stuff that I want to be picking up, stuff that has fast sell-through rate. Again, make sure if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to do that, because I'm going to start doing like what sold videos so you can start seeing a lot of this sell and just see how long it takes and for how much they end up selling and stuff like that. And I'm going to try to do a better job of bringing my GoPro with me when I go to thrift stores and yard sales and stuff like that, so I can bring you along. You can kind of see the stuff that I'm looking for and stuff like that when I'm out there. But that's going to do it for today's video. I appreciate you watching. I hope you come along on this clothing journey that I have going on now. Like I said, my brain's always going different directions. I'm always jumping into new things. But this is still within the reselling category. So it's not like I jumped out of reselling to do something else. Honestly, I can sit there and dig through clothes for like 8 hours a day. I love clothes, looking through stuff, like finding new brands and stuff like that. My wife hates it. Like, she doesn't want anything to do with clothes. She'll rather go after like toys and hard goods and stuff. But I love clothing. I can see myself doing this for a long time. Like I said, I can spend hours and hours going through clothes. So that's where we're at on this channel. That's where I'm at in my business. I appreciate you being here. Make sure you subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll see you on the next video.